Hello, lovelies, and welcome to today's self-care video. I'm using the Maidens of the Wheel Oracle cards by Tammy Wampler, Wampler. I'll put that information in the more section. I pulled four cards for this reading. We have fertility, south wind, acceptance, and transform. And there's a reading for each of these, so give me a moment and I'll get started on that. Okay, first up we have fertility, RTO. RTO was a Celtic bear goddess connected to fertility and shamanism. There is evidence of her worship dating back 6,000 years in Switzerland. The bear was one of the first animals worshipped by many European shamanic cultures. Bears were sacred animals. They seemed to die during their winter hibernation and be reborn in the spring. Because they used dens in caves, bears were thought to have a supernatural connection to the gods and ancestors in the underworld. This association of bears with spring and their ability to live beneath the earth was assigned to the ancients that they enhanced fertility in nature. Ardeo was thought to take on the form of a she-bear at times. She protected the wild bears of the alpine regions of Central Europe. She was a fierce goddess and a shamanic journeyer who traveled to the underworld to bring fertility back to the land. It is deep underground and deep within the womb that fertility resides. All of life springs from these dark places. A woman's cycle lasts for roughly 30 days, but for only 2 to 4 of those days, she is fertile. Fertility is a concept that has amazed humans since the dawn of our existence. It is miraculous, and yet all of life depends upon it. You are in the fertile position of the East right now. You have emerged into the light of day after a long hibernation. Your eyes are still adjusting, and your mind may fall asleep still, but you are ready to create. There is a burning fire within you, a drive that cannot be ignored. You can get in alignment with this budding fertility by connecting with bear energy. Eat berries and honey lavishly and lie in the sun afterward. We need to be amply nourished to be fertile, so do not skimp on anything that nourishes your body or your soul. It is not a time for fasting and deprivation. We cannot create from an empty tank. Call on Ardeo to protect you during this phase. She sees you aligning with bear energy and will protect you as you begin this new phase of creating. Next, we have the South Wind, and the name on the card is Ninlil, Ninlil. In Sumerian mythology, the god Enlil, Enlil, and his wife Ninlil, Ninlil, are a father-mother god. They are wind gods, as their names mean Lord and Lady Wind. Enlil is associated with the north wind, and Ninlil the south. All the myths of these two portray Enlil pursuing, seducing, and impregnating Ninlil. This is a metaphor for the power of the winds, particularly strong, stormy winds that hit in the late summer and early autumn. The south wind is wild and unpredictable, pregnant with power and force. It can be destructive, but it can also be healing, bringing much needed water to dry, late summer crops. Imagine standing outside in a tropical summer. A storm is rolling in. The electricity in the air is tantalizing and refreshing. Once the storm rolls by, there is a clearing of the air. Things often feel lighter and renewed. Sometimes a storm is what is needed to move stale air and get things going again. The late summer was referred to as the dog days by the ancient Greeks and Romans. At that time of year, they observed Sirius, the dog star, rising at the same time as the sun. For many of us, it does feel like the dogs have the right idea about napping until the heat passes. When a storm blows in, it brings a welcome cool, recharges the air, and gets us living again. The south wind is about emotions, big stormy emotions, emotions we ignore and put off for another day. Drawing this card shows you have emotions you can no longer ignore. They are pursuing you like Enlil chasing Ninlil. It is time to let them catch you. This might mean you need to cry. The water that falls from your eyes is just as healing as the water that falls from the air during a storm. It is a favorable time, and you are safe. Do not fear the storm. Let the electricity roll over you and let the water fall. You will be healed just like the dry land, and you will be able to get up and start creating again. As you face the south, ask Ninlil to come to you on the southern wind. She will wrap her arms around you and protect you as the storm passes. And the storm always passes. And behind it, there is a rainbow. This is the healing of the south, the beauty that follows some of our hardest moments. All right, next we have acceptance with Lilith. On the wheel of the year, the west represents the autumn. It is the time of dying and of transitions. We are heading into the winter, and we need to accept what we know is coming if we are to survive. Acceptance is an act of transition. When we fight transitions, we are rooted in fear. Acceptance happens when we no longer fight the things we know are beyond our control. It is not the same as learned helplessness, which is what happens when we have lived in fear so long that we just give up. Acceptance is not giving away power, it is reclaiming power. Lilith is a goddess who teaches us acceptance. We know her as the first wife of Adam in the Bible. For some vaguely explained reasons, Adam put her aside for Eve. Adam's act was justified by demonizing Lilith. Lilith became rather obscure until recently when she was rediscovered and lifted as a symbol for feminine power. This is how acceptance works. Our world can suddenly change and feel like it is falling apart. This is the time when we accept life's lessons and learn to survive through them. We need to quietly live through the winters of our lives so that we can emerge empowered on the other side. Are there things happening in your life you are struggling to accept? Are you afraid of transitions that are coming and wondering whether it is best to fight against them or allow them to unfold? You are a powerful warrior, but now may not be the time to fight. Turn now to the west. Ask Lilith to help you accept transitions with grace. And finally, we have transform Regana. Regana is a goddess with origins in the Baltic region. In ancient times, she was a powerful goddess of healing and transformation. She was a guide into otherworld and helped women through and into their power during menopause. Regana evolved and transformed through the ages, taking many forms, including a shapeshifter, a witch, and a demonic figure who flew through the night as an owl. Regana is a great symbol of the energy of the North. The North has the power to transform us all, but we have forgotten this power. When the land lies in hibernation and the air is bitter cold, there is not much we can do. Our survival relies on the ability to transform either ourselves or things around us. The North says, transform or be transformed. In the modern world, we do not always learn the lessons of the North because of all the comforts and conveniences we have today. Sometimes in the dead of winter, our power goes out and we need to quickly learn the lessons of the North. We have to transform into someone who knows how to survive, not just exist. What kind of lessons is the North teaching you today? If all your basic comforts were ripped away from you, what would be left that still mattered to you? The North always wants you to transform, whether you are ready or not. You are in total charge of your transformation and can shapeshift into any form you desire. By drawing this card, you are being asked to transform yourself or something in your life. This could be outdated thinking patterns, habits, or old ways of seeing yourself or others who no longer serve you. You can transform yourself into a survivor, a healer, and a guide for others. Turn to the North now and connect with this powerful and vast energy. Regana appears in her most ancient form to hold your hand and guide you into this next transformation. These cards have such beautiful meaning. We have the mama bear. We have the southern wind of change. We have acceptance, not learned helplessness, but acceptance, which means we then have the power to mama bear and protect others. And then we have transform. Which one speaks to you the most? What message resonates with you most deeply? I'd love to hear that from you in the comments below if you so desire. And we'll see you tomorrow for another self-care video. Take care now. Bye. Remember, you are made of stardust and you are magical. You are far more powerful than you realize, and you are profoundly loved. Hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. Bright blessings.